Hello, this is Derek Miller, and I just want to take a few minutes and show you some of the research that I found as far as your website and a couple things you can do to increase your traffic or website, or again, some of the things that I just took a few minutes to check out. So this is my website, NJ Mobile Fusion. Nothing earth-shattering or or anything like that. I just keep it very simple because I make sure that I do custom websites for people that need them. The next thing I want to show you is if we go to what's called an incognito window. What that means is that it's incognito, so Google's not tracking what I do and keeping track of what I do, so it's really an independent way of showing you what I do. So if you put in daycare, as you can see, I was looking up yours, Bloomfield, right? And this is the education station. So the education station, as you well know, Miss Donna, is one of my clients, and they're there, and they're number 2 here. I haven't really been working on theirs lately, but can't get in front of Yelp. Yelp just spends too much money on basically every keyword. They spend a lot of money on every keyword, so it's really hard to get in front of them. But so technically I'm ranked number 1 here, but this is where I specialize, ranking number 1 in the what's called the 3-pack. So this is where most people look when they're looking for something. The other thing I want to show you is if we do masonry if I can spell contract towards Montclair. Masonry contractors. Oh, this is my client here, but let's do masonry contractors NJ. And this is still my client. This is Bobby Slaper. He again is home advisor. I can't beat home advisor out. I can't beat Yelp out. But he's listed number 1 in what's called, again, the 3-pack, which is right here. So these are just a couple of my clients. So let's get out of incognito mode. So next thing I want to show you is that I went to your website, which is here. And it looks like definitely need some updates. Now, by the way, all of your privacy and policies, your privacy and your cookies are all going to another separate website, which you should really have on yours as opposed to another separate website. Privacy cookies should be on your website and not on someone else's website, which they unfortunately are at this point. So that's something that you might want to look at. The other thing is that it looks like you have 9 pages. So that's not a lot of pages. You probably should have more, but you only have 9 that are indexed with Google. So next thing I want to show you is that if I go here, you don't have a WordPress website. So if I put in your website, it's not WordPress. The other thing is that you need to change this to HTTPS, which is a secure website, especially if you're doing any type of transactions on it. If you're collecting money, which I don't think you are, but you still should do a secure website, which is HTTPS. We can talk about that some other time. But again, you're not a WordPress website. And when I did a little research, which SEO website builder is the friendliest for search engines, this is a Zema Media, which is a huge media company out of, I think they're out of New York. But anyway, so what their suggestion is, of course, is WordPress. Number 1, WordPress, Wix. I don't know if I agree with Wix, but you know, if you want to do it yourself, it's Wix, Square. But these are the top website building organizations that are best for SEO. And as you can see, WordPress is number 1. So if we were to work together on your website, I'd obviously have to redo it because your website's not WordPress. So that's issue number 1. Number 2, so what I did next is that I did Preschool Parsipanny, New Jersey, just to get an idea of where you are as far as it's concerned. You're obviously not in the 3-pack. You are on the first page. 1, 2. You're behind Yelp again, and Care is another big one. The Goddard, and it's just, you're actually 4, I would say, which is not terribly bad, but could definitely use better. And so the other thing I did is that I took and put in, this is one of the websites we use to figure out what is the volume of searches per month. So Preschool in Parsippany, New Jersey gets about 50 to, it's actually about 110 searches every single month. It bottoms out about 110, so right there. So next thing I did was I looked at daycare on Parsipanny, and you're not in the 3-pack as well, but you're on the first page. You're quite a few down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're like in the middle of the first page. And if we look at preschool, daycare, Parsippany, New Jersey, we get about 170, or average about 110 over a per month. This is a monthly total, by the way. So about 110. So the next thing I want to show you is that I did just a quick review of your website. Out of 100, you're getting 60. I can send this to you, go over this. If it's red, it's errors. If it's yellow, it needs to be improved. If it's G, it's good. If it's gray, it's not important, or doesn't really matter. So your title is good. Your meta keywords, your preview is your headers. You're missing some headers as far as your keywords are concerned. And again, I can send you all this. You can read it yourself if you want. Keyword clouds means the keywords, how many keywords are coming up, which is here. The frequency, whether the keyword, this particular keyword Google thinks is your keyword, is in your title and your description and your header 1, 2, or 3. And again, I'll explain all this stuff to you. I'm just going over it quickly. Having problems with the alt text is having your keywords in your images so that Google knows those images once they come on your website. Again, I'll explain that to you some other time. You don't have enough content on your website. You're only at 4%. You should at least be at 5 to 10% of content or written content on your website. And it should change on a regular basis. IP canalization is not really important. As you can see, it's a yellow. All the rest of these, you have robots. You have iframe, which is really, really bad. Let's see. You also don't have any index pages, no backlink count. You have no backlinks. Your URL, the length is good. You have a favicon, which is good. And again, I'm going over these fast because once we sit down, I'll show you all this stuff. You shouldn't have your email address on there. I'll explain that some other time, which you do. It's not mobile compatible. It's mobile friendly, but it's not mobile compatible, so I'll explain the difference. Let's see. This is the mobile view. Speed is a little slow. You don't have Google Analytics. Document types. You don't have encoding. Your social medias aren't linked up to your website. Traffic ranking, blah, 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 blah. Your website's worth about $60. So the next thing I want to show you is that, as I'll explain to you earlier on the phone, a very important part of ranking in Google is what's called your directories and your reputation, or your reviews. Overall, you have a C, and or C minus, I should say, and your visibility is only 20%. So what that means is that all of these directories you really should be in. These are the top ones that you should be in, and you should also have what's called a consistency, which is your name, your address, and your phone number should all be exactly the same. And as you can see, it's not here. They couldn't find it here. This is different here. It's even in a different building. The phone number is different. So all this stuff needs to be corrected, updated, and make sure that it's all the same. Because if it's not all the same to Google, it is a separate company altogether, believe it or not, if everything's not the same. You have one review, which is good. You could use more because reviews are obviously the best thing, one of the best things as far as Google's concerned. So the other thing I wanted to look at is it looks like I just put in the average daycare cost in Parsippany, New Jersey. It looks like the average cost for the state is about $1,000. I think that's kind of low, but we'll use that number. So the other thing I want to show you is that I did what's called a return on investment. Okay, so if you're ranked number 1 on Google, 42% of the time, the people will go to your website and look at your website. 42% of the time. About 12% of the time, number 2, and about 9% of the time, number 3. And again, these are just averages. So what this return on investment is again, it's not written in stone. It's not something that's guaranteed. It just gives us an idea if we should even go after these particular keywords. So it looks like I just did an average of 110 each one, which gives us about 220 per month that people are looking for both of these keywords. If you rank number one 42% of times, that means about 92 people per month will go to your website. If you have a website conversion rate of about 35%, which is really low, conversion rate basically means that once they go to your website, 35% of the time they'll call you. Again, it's a very low number depending what your website looks like or what you're offering. If you're offering something free, first month free, or, obviously not that, but something similar to that. So what in turn happens is that if 35% of the people of the 90% were actually to go to your website and call you, that would actually be 32 people or 32 calls per month. With a 20-month working period, comes out to about 2 calls per day, a little less than 2 calls per day. And so what in turn happens is that if you get 2 calls per day and you're able to convert at least half of those people, which again, if they're going to your website, they've already checked you out, they've done research on you, they've checked out your reviews, 50% is actually kind of low, but again, we're just using low numbers. And again, here's that monthly value of a new client, okay? And then here's your monthly numbers based on that particular amount. Again, this is not written in stone, but I think it's something that we should visit or go after, or look at, because this gives us an idea of whether it's even worth going after and looking at. But for a couple $100,000 more dollars a year, possibly, it seems as if that it should be something that you should look at. But again, this is Derek Miller, and I just wanted to take a few minutes and show you this research that I've done as far as your daycare, preschool in the Parsipanny area is concerned. So Derek Miller, 973-743-9263. And again, I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks.